Shalom, people of God, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of the program, My Testimony. In this season where we are celebrating our patriarch, our father, the man of God, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa, we are excited to be able to have this opportunity to look back on the many things and the many ways in which his anointing has impacted and transformed the lives of people, not only in Zimbabwe, but around the world. And this week is no different because we are joined on this special program by the Kawandera family. This is a couple who were based in Zimbabwe and have had an exciting story to tell and an exciting journey that they've walked since their encounter with our father in 2017. That encounter set them on a journey that transformed them in terms of their physical location, their vocations, their abilities in life, and the individuals who have come into their lives. Without further ado, let me now introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Atwell Kawandera so that we can hear in their own words their testimony. Mr. and Mrs. Kawandera, how are you doing this fine? Well, it's afternoon over here. I'm sure it must be evening where you are.
Yeah, we're doing fine. Yeah, blessed. It's now almost midnight now.
Wow.
Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to finally get to see you as close to in person as we can get, given the distance between us. But when I heard your story, when we learned about the things that you've been experiencing and that have been happening to you under the grace of our parents, Prophet Emmanuel and Mom Ruth Emmanuel Makandiwa, we just had to know more and to hear from you, to meet with you, and to see for ourselves what this grace has done. So your story begins in 2017, is that right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
all right.
17.
So take us through this. Tell us what happened when in June of 2017 you checked into the Life Haven, and let us know what's happened to you from that time until now.
Yeah. So I'll just take you a little bit back before we checked into Life Haven in June 2017.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I, but then we're not yet married. We're still dating. So as we were preparing to check into the Life Haven, that is in June 2017, we had booked already. So we wrote down our prayer requests, like it was like a roadmap, what we wanted to God to do for us in our life, like the plan that we had as we get married going forward. Yeah, so we had to write that down on a paper. We still have the papers today. We
laminated them. You still have those papers today?
Yeah, we still have them. So this is the paper we wrote. We created this on the 14th of June, 2017. That was a week before we checked into the Life Haven. Yeah, so now we have checked into the Life Haven in June 2017. So when it was the time to be ministered by our father, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa, I remember when he was ministering to me, he just laid his hands on the paper. He didn't say anything,
Didn't say anything.
Yeah, he ministered to my wife as well. Yeah, then that was it. In the following year, 2018, finally we got married.
Yeah,
we're now husband and wife. Yeah, which was one of the requests.
Oh, so already you're seeing prayers being answered. But let's come to 2020, and the reason I'm coming to this year is because we had spoken earlier, and you indicated that this was the time where you were now ready to pursue one of the things you'd written on your paper, which was the goal of relocating to Australia. So maybe to give it a bit of background, let us know how you had planned. I know you've written on the paper. You can even read it the way you had written it. Let us know how you had planned to make this move to Australia at the time of your Life Haven check-in.
Yeah. So when we wrote the request or the roadmap, the way we planned it was we believed that, of course, we wanted to go to, like, what was our request was to relocate from Zimbabwe to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And by then we didn't really have the finer details on how to really go about it. So, but we just believed, like, from the information that we had then, just believed it was a lot more difficult to move from Zimbabwe to Australia, but it was a little bit easier moving to the UK. So I planned, maybe we can move to the UK first, and then after that, we'll move to Australia to be a little bit easier than just starting from here. Yeah.
From Zimbabwe to the UK first, and then from the UK, you're going to somehow work it out so that you could move to Australia.
Yeah, that was the plan. So and that's what we went with when Baba ministered to us. Yeah.
So here we are in 2020. This is the earlier part of the year. You are now ready to move in the sense that you now have information, the information that's required, because at the time, moving to Australia was still a bit mysterious for you in 2017 because you weren't sure exactly how it was going to happen. So that's when you came up with this plan of Australia first, and then the United Kingdom first, and then Australia. And then now in 2020, you have sufficient information, but your financial resources are not quite where they need to be for you to be able to go. So instead of moving, and this time, this is when you established a business. Can you tell us a little bit more about that business?
Remember, we said we wrote about agricultural produce, so we thought of doing the free-range chickens, the road runners.
The road runners. All right.
So it's in 2020 where we managed to buy some chicks, which we started to, we grew them, and we started to reproduce them, selling the chicks. We managed to procure a hatching machine. We're now offering hatching services to other people around. Yeah, just telling people about some of the people didn't really knew about those modern ways of doing those roadrunner chickens. So that was in 2020. 2021, the business is booming. We got attention with a certain media house, it profiled us, and then they just contacted us on Facebook, because we used to market our produce on Facebook. Remember, that was during COVID. That's when this media house profiled us, and then they said, we want to come and cover a story if you're fine with it. Then say, that's fine. Of course, that was going to market us, so said, it's going to increase visibility for us, so we're good. Then they came and they interviewed us, how we do our things, how we were doing the project. Okay. And then they had to post that video online or on YouTube on their platform. So just after crossover in 2022, that very week, I just received a call from a stranger. It was from UK. Then the guy goes, cause he knew my name. Like, you're someone who seemed like he knew me the way he spoke to me at that time. So I said, hi Arthur. Then said, okay, I saw your story on YouTube. I was impressed by the way you're doing things. I would want to help you to grow your project. So if it is a financial challenge, I'm willing to help you with finances. Just figure out how much you want to expand your project. I'll give you the money. When the project is established, you just give me back the money the way you would want.
Wait.
That is fine.
Wait just a minute. Did you know this man before?
No. I didn't know. It was just a call. I said a call from a stranger, right?
This is the first time that you're speaking to this man, and he's offering to help you finance your project.
Yes, so I said, that's fine. So just go and discuss with your wife. And then you give me a feedback. Just a minute, before a minute, just like 30 seconds, I think. 30 seconds to a minute after that call, he hanged up. He called again. They said, Ato, when I listened to your story, I heard the way your wife was flowing. Like, you guys seems like you are educated somehow, or what do you do in life? And I said, no, I'm a fitter. My wife is studying towards getting a bachelor's in electrical engineering. They said, okay, that's good. Do you know that your trades are in demand in Australia? don't you have any connections or any relatives that can maybe assist you in moving over? And I said, yeah, of course we don't really have connections as such, but we know about that our trades are demanding Australia, but the challenge is on the resources that are needed for you to do that process. We have researched about that. It's something that we are looking forward to. They said, yeah, okay, no, it's fine. I just want to help you in any way you want. So it said that we do the farming thing or help you to relocate. So just go and discuss with your wife about that. Then when you decide, just give me a feedback, then we see how we can work it out.
This is
Just like
amazing.
that.
So you mean to say that a complete stranger gives you a call? You're not expecting it, you don't know.
Yeah,
He calls you from the
yes,
UK and he starts talking about your business and how he can partner with you, how he can help you to expand your business. And then
yes,
he ends that conversation. And then within less
yes,
than a minute, he gives you another call. And then,
yes,
unprompted by you, he starts talking about Australia. And this man
yes,
is
yes.
calling from the UK. The reason why I'm so interested, the reason why I'm making so much, placing so much emphasis on this is I'm thinking about the intelligence of this anointing and the paper that you have
Yes,
in your hand. Because in
yes,
your paper, you said that you wanted to move to Australia via the
exactly.
UK. And then you get a call from the UK about how you can move
Yes.
to Australia.
So I just got home. I told you about that. Of course, we already have the answer, what we're going to do. And then I sent him a message. I said, yeah, I think on that, we'd want you to help us on relocating to Australia.
Hmm.
Yeah, they
Okay.
said, okay, that's fine. If that is what you want, we can work on that. And then I gave him a breakdown of the resources that were needed. So then in January, he's the one again who gave me a call, said, hi, Ato, dear, how good are you? Said, yeah. We said we're going to do that in January, so I'm ready when you are.
Oh, he
Said,
called and he said, I'm
okay.
ready.
He said, I'm ready when you are. Then, so I think it took me about 3 weeks to get done. So in February, I was done. I did the initial stage. When it was time for payment, I just gave him a message and I said, yeah, I'm done. They now need the payment. Then he said, yeah, okay. So in less than, I think in 3-4 minutes, I saw an email getting in my email saying,
Wait a minute.
I mean, a confirmation of payment.
You gave him a phone call, and 4 minutes later, there's a confirmation of payment.
Yeah.
Wow.
And lots of money, we were talking of lots of money because it was way above $1,000. And for me at that time, it wasn't something that was easy to come by.
All right. And then what happens next?
So in July, I did the English test. I got an interview in the same month. I got an outcome in August. I managed to secure a job in August. In September, I began the visa processing. In October, I got the visa for Australia. Yeah,
What
and
kind of a
then
year is that? So January he starts paying. No, January he gives you a call to say that I'm ready. February
yeah,
he makes the first payment. March he makes another payment. May
yeah,
you get your skills assessment. And was it June that you did the English test? And then
yeah.
you're applying for the visa. And then by October you got the job, you got the visa. And what kind of divine acceleration is that?
Yeah, that was so eventful. That was the most, yeah, blessed year for us.
I
It
can only
was a
imagine.
defining year. It was
So
really
you're
a
defining
defining
it, yes. And with our Father, these themes are for all time. The end of the year does not mean the end of the theme because our themes they
year.
come and they become lifestyles.
Yeah,
So
exactly,
that's amazing.
exactly.
So all right. So
Yeah.
what then happened next year? You said it's about November time.
Yes, that was October when I got the visa. So I'm now making preparations to relocate.
Hmm.
I think that is when we dissolved our project. I had to sell everything.
All right.
Yeah, I had to sell the chickens away, and yeah. So in November, that's when I relocated to Australia, and yeah, I left my family behind, and I came in November of 2020. This is now 2023. We're talking about, yeah. Then December, I'm now here. January, that's when I started doing the visa processing for the family to come and join me. Yes.
So what was that
So
process like? Was that process smooth? Were there any obstacles? Maybe you can let us know also what was happening when now you are there, but the family has not yet come to where you are.
yeah, it was not so smooth. It was
Mm.
not so smooth. Yeah, there were some obstacles in terms of because there's like a sponsorship I need to get from the company I was working and that I'm working for, that had brought me in. So I couldn't just apply for my family on my own without their approval.
All right.
Yes, so they were kind of delaying to give me that. In fact, they were saying that that's gonna be, I mean, we're gonna give you that after you work with us for like 6 months. That's what they were saying. Yeah. So that was in December. So January, in January when I was trying to push that, that's when in February that's when I got the letter. So it's just 2 months after.
But before we get
And
to February, I remember Mama saying that there was something that happened. You are in Australia, you're having challenges with the company, they're telling you about a 6 month waiting period. But here in Zimbabwe, there at the Basilica, there was something that happened.
oh yes.
So Mama, tell us what was happening in Zimbabwe whilst your husband was in Australia.
In January, on the 21st, in the morning, I decided to go with the 3 passports to church. So I remember Baba walked throughout the service, and he also came to the overflow. I was in the overflow with the kids. He passed by, and I was holding up the passports, and he just put his hand over them. He didn't touch them.
Mm-hmm.
And from after that, the visa process started flowing. And at the end of the service, I remember Baba saying that we should write the beginning in our diaries. So I wrote the beginning. So I kept on praying over that declaration and trusting God. And that was the beginning of our visas.
Really? So what then happened after that in terms of your visa applications?
Yeah, my husband began
that's
to tell
when
me
we started the visa process. That is when when we spoke to our managers, because we kept on complaining about that issue of having nominations for the family, and then one of like the general manager just said, yeah guys, why should you wait for 6 months to have your families, you know? Then he said, yeah, just we asked one of his subordinates to bring the papers. Then he just wrote the forms, then they were signed. And then he said, yeah, those are the nominations to go with to the immigration for your to bring in your families.
So you mean in January a declaration is made that this is the beginning, and then when did this happen with the managers? Is that February?
Same month in January.
In January.
Yeah, same month in January. That's when we got. Yeah, so in February, that's when we started the visa processing. They were lodged in February, and we got them in April.
First in February and in April, you got the visas.
Yeah, we got the visas in April. So now April, the visas out. Then we planned on a date, and then we applied. I booked the air tickets for them. 3 family members, and then they came in June this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm also very shocked by this is because if you had to wait the 6 months, it means that it was only around June when you could have started to apply. But because of this declaration, at the time when you should have been beginning to apply, you were actually waiting to receive them where you were. And it accelerated things for you so much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So as we speak, I'm looking at a couple, and the entire church is watching a couple that is beaming from Australia.
Yes, yeah, that's the grace of our Father. Yeah.
No, that's truly amazing. So what would you want to say to our father, to our mother, in terms of anything that you'd want them to know about how you feel, about how their grace intervened in your lives and allowed you to realize your dreams?
Yeah, I would want to thank my mind Baba for everything for the things that they are doing into our lives, the things that they've done, the things that they are doing, and the things that they are yet to do. Because looking at this vision that we had and the prayers that have been answered so far, we are now even more confident of the things that are yet to come. So His grace is amazing. He works, that grace works in ways that we can never imagine, like how things were linking up, yeah. So this grace is so amazing. I want to thank them. Our lives have changed. Some things that we can now do, some things we now have. Knowing us, it can't be us. Can't be about us, but it's just the grace. It's just the grace that is upon their lives that is working in us. So I thank you, and I wish them long life. And in this, journey that she has walked with us, I've just learned that I would never take his declarations for granted. I'll never, because whatever I declared, no matter how many years ago, it will just still follow you, It will still just follow you. Some of the things are just looking back, just like what I'm saying, we had a prayer point like we would want divine helpers. It's not something that we really, and it is now that we are looking back. We said, you remember when we went 2017, we said we want divine helpers, and things were now lining up before we knew it, So, yeah, this grace is so amazing. It's so amazing. Yeah, I thank them, and I wish them long life.
As do we all. Thank you so much. I don't know if Mama you'd want to say something or if he's taken the words out of your mouth.
I'm very grateful. I'm so grateful. In a million ways, I want to thank, like a million times. I want to say thank you so much. We were given an identity. God did abundantly above all that we could think or imagine. So I'm really grateful.
No, and thank you, wonderful people. We appreciate you taking your time and letting us into your world so that we can have for ourselves a piece of your story and an understanding of what the grace of the great prophets Emmanuel and Ruth Makandiwa has been doing in your lives. 2017 to 2024 is a 7-year journey, and yet, like you said, the declaration, the unction, the anointing, and the grace, they follow you up and they make sure that what he has said is what comes to pass. And we thank you so much for sharing your testimony with us here today. And we are encouraged and we wish you nothing but the best from here going forward.
Wow, thank you, man of God.
Thank you.
Thank you, good people.